What's going on, guys? This is Travesty here, bringing you a Showdown Replay / announcement video. So first off, with the NoPauseTourneys thing that I was doing before, the creative typing tournament, I couldn't record the final for that because I think the stream video's now gone. In any case, my computer keeps lagging out whenever I try and play it and says not available, so I guess it's not there anymore. But we ended up winning, beating Mr. Tonbury, which is pretty nice. It was a very, very good battle. I'm sad I can't show it to you guys, but you know, that's that. But because we won that tournament, we get to play in the All-Star Invitational tournament that NoPauseTourneys are hosting in a few weeks' time. So there will be, they'll be streaming it at Saturday the 18th at 12 PM Eastern Standard Time. I will leave the details down in the description, as well as the NoPauseTourneys Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, etc. You guys should go check them out. They're doing a lot of really cool stuff. And what the All-Star Invitational tournament is, it's kind of like a lot of the drafting leagues that you see nowadays. So like the GBA, PPL, all those sorts of things. And except it's all in a condensed tournament format, and you only have 10 minutes to team build in between rounds. And they will randomize which team you're playing against, so you can't pre-prepare. So because I haven't really done this style of battling before, I want to get some practice matches in, and a couple of people like Lacen and Slyro and Shadow Gaming Hub and whatever were having a couple of practice matches. Sorry if you can hear Skype throughout all this, by the way. Those guys are still organizing stuff and I'm in a Skype call with them. So I decided to do a practice couple matches with them. So I went through and drafted. This is my team over here. I drafted Mega Pinsir, Goodra, Skarmory, Granbull, Jolteon, and Superior. He drafted Mega Venusaur. This is Lacen I'm playing against, by the way. Drafted Mega Venusaur, Vaporeon, Sylveon, Scrafty, Sneasel, and Infernape. So what I did in team prep for this, I've got a sub Mega Pinsir with return quick attack, and I think it was close combat actually, because that just kind of wrecks the rest of Lacen's team. If I can get a sub up, that stops. He has a lot of priority, particularly in these last three. So if I can get a sub up, I can pretty much just sweep him, and that's kind of the aim, to wear some things down and then just wreck him late game. Goodra is the most fun set I have on this team. It's a Choice Scarfed Goodra with Outrage, Iron Tail, Thunder Punch, and Superpower, and it's Sap Sipper. So with a Choice Scarf, it will outspeed everything on his team that isn't Scarfed. Superpower is for the Sneasel, Iron Tail for Sylveon, both of which I think would come in on Goodra and think, oh yeah, I can stay in here, and then I can just bop them. Problem is Iron Tail's got terrible accuracy, but you know, Thunder Punch is for Vaporeon, won't be doing too much, and Outrage is basically, if Sylveon goes down, I can lock myself into Outrage and just wreck shop. It's also Sap Sipper, so it's a pretty good switch in for that Venusaur. Then have Skarmory. Skarmory is completely standard, max physical defense, max HP, Stealth Rock, Counter, Roost, and Defog. I didn't really see much use for it this game. Infernape destroys it. It does do nicely against both Sneasel and Scrafty. But other than that, it doesn't really, unless it's a Choice Spec Sylveon locked into Hyper Voice, but I still can't really touch it, so Skarmory's not that important this match. Granbull is also physically defensive with T-Wave, Earthquake, Play Rough, and Heal Bell. This is a little bit more important because the Heal Bell is nice in case you get Scald Burns on things. Play Rough hits a lot of his team pretty hard, and Earthquake also does a lot to the Infernape, and I want to try and spread as much paralysis as possible. Obviously, I'm expecting Shed Skin Scrafty, so that's not going to be able to, I'm not going to be able to paralyze that as easily, but if I can get everything else paralyzed, I will outspeed with Mega Pinsir, and I can just clean up shop. Oh, one quick thing, Mega Pinsir is only running, I think, 16 EVs in speed, the rest in bulk, because that means it'll outspeed everything it would have otherwise that's not Scarfed, and I'm relying on getting behind a sub and sweeping from there, so Quick Attack will just wreck things like Infernape in any case, so I'm not too worried about that. Then we have Jolteon. It's a pretty standard Choice Specs Jolteon with Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Hidden Power Flying. There was no point for HP Ice because he doesn't really have anything weak to it. and I've got Hidden Power Flying because it hits Infernape, it hits Scrafty, although Thunderbolt hits Scrafty a little bit harder. Same with Infernape actually, but most importantly, it hits that Mega Venusaur, which is fat as fat as fat. Then lastly, I have Serperior. This is my other option to sweep. It's a sub-lefties set with Leaf Storm, Glare, and Hidden Power Flying. So really, I'm expecting sort of Serperior to come in mid-game and destroy a couple of things, but not end up being able to sweep because he has too many things that can beat it. Like I'm expecting maybe a Scarfed Infernape to take it on. Priority Ice Shard from Sneasel can break a sub, that kind of thing. And Sylveon can take one, fire off a Hyper Voice even if I'm behind a sub. So Serperior is not... I'm not expecting to be able to just clean up his team, but I do have Hidden Power Flying in case he tries to get cheeky with Venusaur. And I do have Glare because, like I said, I want to get as many things paralyzed as possible because then I can just destroy with Mega Pinsir. So, what I decide to lead with, I actually predict his Ape lead because it's his only Stealth Rocker, and so I decide to lead with Grand Ball, which works out pretty nicely. I'm just hoping he's not special. I'm expecting probably Physical Sash. So he goes for Stealth Rocks, and I decided to just get this thing paralyzed. This is one of the things I really want to paralyze for Pinsir later. And I just go for EQ, get a nice chunk of damage off as he U-turns out. This Infernape is looking pretty worn down already. He brings in the Venusaur, and I have a pretty safe switch into Goodra here. Even though it's got no bulk investment, it's got ridiculous special defense, and I'm not expecting Venusaur to be carrying anything to touch me. He goes for Leech Seed and gives me a +1. So I've now got a +1 Scarfed Goodra, but I'm just going to pause. I wanted to explain that a little bit more. So, I didn't want to lock myself into any attack because I could have gone for Outrage if we would have done a lot to this Venusaur, but he had a Sylveon in the back, so I didn't want to do that. I could have gone for Iron Tail, predicting the Sylveon, but he could just as well go into Vaporeon. Basically, I didn't know which evolution he was going to be going into, and depending on what he did, I would need to lock myself into a different move, and I think Thunder Punch didn't end up picking up the 2-hit KO on Sylveon, so I decided, you know what, let's pull a double switch. I'm expecting one of the two evolutions. Either way, I'm going to go into Serperior. If you bring in Sylveon, I'll just fire off a Leaf Storm, because I will outspeed it, even if it's Scarfed or something ridiculous. I will outspeed it, I can hit it with 2 Leaf Storms, get a big chunk of damage off, and you know, Serperior then goes down. I can revenge Sylveon easily, and then I can start locking myself into Outrage. But he also switches out and goes into Vaporeon, which was the better of the two, because this is pretty much setup fodder for a leftover Serperior. So I decided to set up a sub, and he goes for Wish, which I do not agree with. You don't mess around with threats, and you don't let Serperior set up. I then go for Leaf Storm. As you can see, it's going to be an easy 2-hit KO, even after the Wish, and he goes for Heal Bell, and I'm like, dude, I now have a +2 Serperior behind a sub. I can just fire off a Leaf Storm, and you have nothing to switch in. Goes into Sylveon, and this isn't taking 2 Leaf Storms, not with a contrary boost. So I'm now at +4 behind a sub. I will outspeed this thing so it can't Hyper Voice me. I hit another Leaf Storm, crit did not matter there, and I'm now +6 behind a sub. So he goes into Venusaur, and I reveal the HP Flying, and that's just a dead Venusaur, and at this point it's looking like I'm just going to sweep the Serperior. This is kind of what I was intending, you know, get down a couple of his threats and then clean up with Mega Pinsir. I go for HP Flying again. He doesn't show Muck Punch or anything, so Infernape goes down. He brings in the Sneasel, and here he goes for Ice Shard, break my sub. I actually go for Hidden Power Flying because I had a calc open which said it should kill, but that was with a Life Orb. Fortunately for me, he's actually Scarfed, so he can't just Icicle Crash the next turn because he would outspeed if he was max speed, and another Hidden Power is able to take him out, and I still have a +6 Serperior, which outspeeds the rest of his team. He brings out Scrafty, goes for the Fake Out, doesn't do enough, even though it flinches me, whatever. Fake Out always flinches, of course. I just go for Leaf Storm, hit another one, take out the Scrafty, and now he just has Vaporeon left, and I have so many things to deal with that it's not even funny. So I'm just going to click Leaf Storm, I do connect again, and that's a dead Vaporeon. And that is going to be a very short and sweet battle. Serperior just doesn't give a fuck, pretty much. Don't play around with Serperiors. If Serperior is starting to set up on you, break its sub. You can't afford to let this thing to start firing off Leaf Storms. But there was another battle after this one. I will be bringing that to you later. It's against Slyro, and make sure you come check out the stream of the actual tournament because I'm really looking forward to it. One of the reasons I started YouTube was for these drafting type leagues, and I'm really keen to do some more. So make sure you come along, check out that stream. I will be doing a draft analysis video sometime after the draft is over, and I can go through my team, what I drafted and why I drafted it, and hopefully we can do as well in this tournament as we did in the last time. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in my next upload.